on this. It's something that I've seen, and it's something that is quite, I would say, familiar with a lot of people. So aside from in terms of changing the environment, what other strategies have you found effective in managing anxiety? Are there any specific techniques or practices that have helped you?
Yeah, of course. That's a lovely question. And I always love getting that question because people just want to know what's convenient. What do they have access to that they could do right now? And I'll give you an easy one. And this is called the 4-7-8 breathing technique. If you're under stress or you're going through an anxiety or panic attack, or you're really down on a given day with depression, I highly encourage you to try this breathing technique. How it works is you do breathe in for 4 counts, hold that breath for 7 counts, and then release your breath, exhale for 8 counts. And do that on a cycle of at least 5 or more times, just when you're sitting. And it just takes a few minutes out of your day, but there's something about that. When I started practicing that, after a few days in a week, I just noticed a complete difference in my body. I didn't feel like I was so stuck, and I didn't feel like the stress was weighing me down. The shortness of breath dissipated, and it helps you focus as well. So there's things you could do if you're sitting at a desk, or you're studying or doing your work, or you're stuck in a corporate meeting and you just, you're looking for some sort of relief from your anxiety or your stress. Try this breathing technique. It's very helpful. So that's one other strategy. And then another strategy is, it sounds silly. It's something that is, basically, I recommend getting a pet, and that could be a dog, cat, animal of your choice. And just making that pet a part of your life, tend to their needs, pet them. There's something about petting your dog or your cat or any animal or pet that you have that releases oxytocin in your brain and brings you so much joy and love. So there's lots of studies out there that show that you have a better overall wellness when you do that. I know a lot of people with post-traumatic stress disorder, these are veterans or people who have fought in the war. They come back to North America and they join a program where, they're given a dog to help them live in their day-to-day lives, because they are also in a state of fight or flight. They're dealing with PTSD, right? And these dogs are trained to help support their needs. I forget what kind of dogs they call them, but they're support dogs, sort of like service animals. And they help these veterans really live their day-to-day lives. And a lot of them come close to, wanting to end their lives because of all the trauma that they've been exposed to in war. And having a service animal has, made a world of a difference for them in helping to improve their day-to-day and all that. So I highly encourage getting a dog or any kind of pet that'll make you happier.
And it's something that I've seen, and it's something that in terms of these strategies, and hopefully in terms of, as we are speaking, I was listening, and hopefully the audience will actually take the strategies in terms of when it comes to anxiety, because anxiety is one of those, I would say, mental health issues that people overlook and say, it's just anxiety, nothing that much, only to find out that later in the stage that, flip. This thing is hard. This thing is hard to maintain. Moving on to actually our last part of this conversation, feeling seen and heard. And as I've said, that it's quite important. And Buddhism is one of the conversation that actually has a terrible impact within kids mostly. When it comes to high school, especially high school teenagers. So also you are someone that actually experienced that. So how did you how did bullying contribute to feelings of invisibility? What were the long-term effects of this experience?
Of course. So basically, when I was a young child, I was bullied in school for a couple of years.
Yeah.
I think that had really scarred me. There had been a boy and a girl that would kind of make racist remarks, kind of saying things like, oh, you're Oriental, and things like that, which is far from the truth, because Oriental means that you're Chinese, and I'm actually Filipino. My family had immigrated to Canada from the Philippines in the 70s. I'm Filipino Canadian, very proud of it. But anyways, these kids would bully me in school. And the long-term effects that it had on me was I suppressed a lot of those emotions. I was afraid to speak up to people. And I kind of felt like my voice was taken away from me and I wasn't seen or heard. And that's the effects that bullying has left on me is I've isolated myself a lot because I have trust issues with people in general. But that's all in the past because I've come a long way to heal from that. And what I developed in my book, Harmony Hacks, is something called the Life Lesson Dignity Practice. And it's a strategy I developed to feel seen, heard, and whole in my life. And what it is reframing your mindset. What this practice does, I'll get into it, is shift from a state of being victimized and helpless to feeling very empowered and peaceful. So the 4 parts I'll mention that's part of this life lesson dignity practice. The first one is it's not about you, it's about them. So there's that. And then, and what that basically means is, you know, if someone says something to you that you don't like, that you feel is insulting, try to put that in perspective and think, okay, what could they be going through right now that just made them say that to me? Now, I'm not advocating for anyone mistreating you or you're saying something bad to you and not standing up for yourself. But I want you to remember, try not to take things personally and remind yourself that maybe they could be going through something. And that's just their way of projecting about what they're going through. And they're not realize how they're hurting you, right? So remember that one. It's not about you, it's about them. And number 2, let go of how others people view you. Especially millennials nowadays and young people, they're so caught up on how people think of them and how they view them and, you know, how many likes they get on social media and how their peers perceive them. What I say to you is what other people's opinions or thoughts of you are is none of your business. You know who you are. Stay true to yourself. And don't let this get the best of you, because when you're focused on how other people view you, you're constantly looking for validation and approval outside of yourself. And what you really need to do is look within, be happy with your inner self. And that will lead to a lot of inner peace. So sometimes it's a matter of walking away from what someone has said to you, or going into state of, if you're a spiritual or religious person, you may turn to your faith and say a little prayer in your mind. Like, for example, I say something, if someone says something that really make me angry, I say, I go into a quiet space and the prayer I say in my mind is, Holy Spirit, help me now, or God, make me an instrument of your peace. And what this does is it really helps me stay peaceful. It doesn't make me want to attack the other person or get into, like a back and forth argument or conflict. And you just let things be. You walk away, you say that prayer in your mind on repeat for 5 or more times, and just notice how that situation dissipates. Be the higher person. And, if you don't want to listen to what someone's saying to you, that's very hurtful. You don't need to take that. Yes, so just walk away. And then number 3 is I highly recommend crystal clear communication. So basically, when you learn how to communicate with someone in a very clear way, that bridges your connection to another person. It leads to healthier relationships. So be an active listener. And if you feel that someone is not hearing you, just ask them, be honest with them and say, pause for a second and say, I don't mean to be rude, but I don't think you're really hearing me right now. And then just try and ask them questions to see if they were listening to you. And then just make it clear that you don't want to be misunderstood and you're trying to communicate things clearly so that you two are on the same page. But that really is the bridge to connecting with others, is work on your communication skills and be super crystal clear with them. And then lastly, the fourth of that life listen dignity practice is to get out of your comfort zone. People nowadays are so, they want to be in their comfort zone, whether that be, in their homes, comfortable and not doing anything that's new to them because that feels safe to them, which is completely fine. But a way to grow and evolve personally and to attain inner peace is you need to find ways to get out of your comfort zone, develop new habits and new ways of thinking, and new ways that you could help yourself to really help you evolve as a human being. So that's one thing. If it doesn't feel comfortable, if you're getting out of your comfort zone, that's a good thing. And, that will help you grow.
That's the important things that you mentioned. And personally, I just want to actually pick up one that you actually said. You said that try not to take things personally. And it goes to a line that was said by both Ryan Reynolds and Chris Williamson, where he said that they both said that don't take life too seriously. You won't live forever. Whereas in the next 3 or 4 decades or in the next century, you won't be here. No one will remember your name. No one will remember what did you do. So don't take life seriously. I feel like one of the important things, the fact that we are so serious when it comes to such issues that everything means that we shouldn't be like that. And it's something that is quite fascinating. So, and I'm seeing the time in closing. What would you want someone that is listening to this conversation to take away from what we have been discussing today's conversation?
Yes, of course. So basically, I want you to take away the fact that peace is the answer to set yourself free. There's ways to overcome your hurdles and your pain points in your life. And I know there's many struggles that all of us deal with, but I want you to know that you can choose yourself today and find ways to help you cope with your life. And it's never too late to start on a healing journey. My message to you is to never give up. Make this your motto in life. And I want you to know that there's always a solution to your problems. And by choosing peace, you'll find fulfillment within yourself. I encourage you to keep an open mind and experiment with forming a new habit, a new perspective, and a new mindset. And remember, at the end of the day, to please take it easy on yourself. Have compassion for yourself and others. And sometimes it's just a simple matter of getting out of your comfort zone and implementing continuous practices that suit you to help you on your healing journey. I really believe in you, and you have the potential to be your greatest self in this lifetime. So start small.